So we didn't
be
get to
ready
hear
for action here, as both these guys have the potential for some big Greco bombs.
Once again, we're having a matchup of the Armed Forces. Ellis Coleman in the red singlet representing the U.S. Army WCAP. Jamel Johnson coming right after Coleman right there with that arm drag. He is representing the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah, Coleman has been a fixture at the top level of the Greco-Roman program for years. He was a 2012 Olympian when he was a very young man and has been in the mix ever since. Jamel Johnson trying to dethrone him. They're about the same age, though. They're both veterans.
Yeah, but Johnson kind of coming on a little later in his career.
That's right, a little bit more of a late bloomer, but he's here now, and he's got an arm drag on Coleman, and it could be 1, 2, or even more. Coleman, great defense. He did not panic in that situation. Coleman nearly had his back, and that's where you could go back arts and just bomb guys on their dome. But Coleman stood his ground and was able to turn and face Johnson without conceding anything there.
Not only the strength, but the technique to not get hit for a caution and 2 when you're peeling hands, right? Now, as we say that, Johnson will be rewarded for that arm drag attempt, and he will get the first point. Coleman, of course, maybe the best gut wrench that we'll see in session 1 here.
That's right. He is known for many techniques, but that gut wrench is scary. He goes elbow to elbow on at a middleweight, not as common.
But he's going to have to fight off Johnson's gut wrench here early on. And we see Sammy calling for action here as Johnson picking a side, going to the left.
He's putting the pressure on, but Coleman doesn't look like he's in too much trouble. He stays cool, calm, and collected underneath, and they'll go back up to their feet. Only the 1 point for the passivity conceded by Coleman, so Johnson with a very slim lead as we have 1 minute and 22 seconds to work in this first period.
Starting to come forward, and again, you know, Brady Kuntz in that last match was having trouble finding his drag, something that a lot of our Greco guys are doing very effectively right now. And again, with the drag, you can get to rear standing, right, and maybe toss a guy out of bounds. But for Coleman, he's going to need to pick up the activity because, you know, he was able to turn Johnson at the Armed Forces Championships, and I think that's going to be his path to victory here. Johnson, kind of like Stefanowicz, right? Those Marine Corps guys maybe knocking on the door a little bit. You see a little bit of that hungry, and of course not that Coleman's hungry, but you know, he's made 6 teams, right? 5 teams. Johnson's looking for his first one.
That's right. It's tough to maintain that kind of level when you have guys coming at you to stay king of the hill for that long. Speaking of hunger, I think New Jersey wrestling fans were hungry for this because this is a solid crowd. It's the morning session. We expected it not to be as full as it's going to be later tonight. It's almost a sellout if it's not a sellout already. With the walk-up, who knows how packed this place could be. But the fans are into it. They're yelling at the right times. And pretty pleased with the way this has come together.
Final 10 seconds here, Spain. It looks like Jamel Johnson is going to take a 1-0 lead heading into the break. He got the passivity in the first. Will we see Ellis Coleman get the passivity in the second? And they were nice enough to allow the WCAP coaches to just stay in their seats. Coach Bruce Robinson and Coach Spencer Mango there. And then Coach Lukitas and Coach Miller.
A good full-length towel, overhead flap. I like to bring it back over the head more by Miller there.
The imposing figure.
Staying in front of your chest is okay. You can still get good air movement there. Now he goes to the towel down. Everybody's got their towels. They could be hotel towels, although there's a Marine Corps branded towel by Coach Lukitas. Appreciate seeing those as well.
And the imposing figure of Miller, you still kind of saw him popping out, but covered
huge.
Up by that Final X Lincoln, right? Final X Lincoln coming up next week. Spay and I will be calling the session 1 once again for that as we get back to action here. This is match number 5 of 6. And again, we're going to be rolling back around for the second match of the best of 3 series.
A lot more wrestling to go. That's why I love this Final X format. You get an action-packed card, nothing but the most important domestic matches of the year, all in a row. One after another. Doesn't get any better than that.
Coleman going to double unders here. Can he start walking him forward? And they didn't give him a whole lot of time to work there. He kind of slowed down. So this is what we talked about.
Forced parterre.
Key to the match, right? Johnson was not able to get the turn in the first one here. Can Johnson get, can Coleman? Coleman is, by the way, very tall.
And
if you
has
can't tell already,
albatross-like
yeah.
wingspan.
So the elbow-to-elbow lock is very much possible for him here.
It's up right now. It's locked. He's driving forward, and there's the turn. And that's 2 points. That's huge. He was already leading on criteria. Now he has it outright. Is he going to get another one? He does. It's an exposure. They don't spin all the way around, but that's unnecessary. And Johnson is back to a defensive position, so Coleman can score again. Has Johnson airborne, clears his legs. We're going to get something big. Crowd wants it. There it is. A thunderous boom onto the mat, and people are going wild for Ellis Coleman. The crowd loves it. I loved it. That was a 9-1 tech ball. 8-point lead is all you need. Ellis Coleman showing why he is the experienced world team member and Olympian.
And our first tech of final.